Mike D checking in. Happy birthday to T.I. Some people know him as T.I.P. I think he's the greatest solo MC to ever come out of the city of Atlanta. I got Outkast as a group, Big Boy and Andre. They are who they are as a collective. But if we're talking about solo MCs who put in a crazy discography and has a solo discography with the quality and the lyrical skill and the growth and all of those things, I got to give T.I. the credit. And what I want to do here on his birthday is defend at this point. I'm going to defend my top 25 T.I. songs list. Now, if we're going to do albums, I think Trap Music is his best album. Then I'm going to follow that up with King. Then I'm going to follow that up with I know many of you guys would say Paper Trail, but I'm going to go Urban Legend. Then I'll go Paper Trail. And then after that, kind of get into some debates. But this is what I want to do. I'm going to do the top 25 songs. And I'm going to give you the reasons why I put these on here. Now, there are some really good songs that are left off, but to me, it's an attribute to how great of a catalog the T.I. has. Now, number 25, I got Bezel, featuring 8 Ball, MJG, and Bun B. I thought this record was very important. It was on Trap Music, and it really showed that one of the things I really, really respect about T.I. and what he's been able to do throughout his career is the fact that whenever he gets on a record with people that are important to him or important to the culture, he shows up. You know what I'm saying? And he also allows them to go out there and do their thing. To have 8 Ball, MJG, and Bun B, and during this time, Pimp C was locked up, to have these icons on a record on your sophomore album and have the tone that it had, very important, man. And I couldn't leave Bezel off of this list. So Bezel was number 25 for me. 24, I'm Illy. That was on Paper Trail. And he started that off, in my personal opinion, it's kind of his answer to Wayne's and Millie. This is around the time where, Wayne is really being praised for his lyricism. And I know for some who didn't live in that era, when we're talking about the next generation of MCs, it was really Wayne and T.I. That was the conversation. And really, T.I. took his leap slightly before Wayne took his leap. So T.I. was kind of the person ahead. And that's why both of them are on that Destiny's Child Soldier song. That's why T.I. has 2 verses on that record. T.I. was very, very versatile. This is after T.I. had done, My Love with Justin Timberlake. T.I. had done ATL and all of these things. And Illy was him showing people like, yo, I can do this too. I can really rhyme too. So I thought Illy was important to put on here. Live Your Life with Rihanna, number 25. I'm sorry, 23. Wasn't a huge fan of the song, but you got to respect what it did. You got to respect the numbers. And I think Just Blaze did this one. Rihanna being who she is, and that was one of the hottest periods for her as well as an artist. They came together and this song just took over, man. It's probably one of his most successful records to date. So I put that on here. Number 22, Big Shit Poppin'. I like when T.I. and Mannie Fresh come together. And once again, Southern Connection. We all respected Mannie Fresh out here in Atlanta. And the fact that him and Mannie Fresh collabed so well together, I think Big Shit Poppin', to me, when it came out, this is on T.I. versus T.I.P. It was following up King. I feel like he followed up King too quick. And when this record came out, I don't know if it was totally appreciated. And I can speak for myself. I didn't totally appreciate it because, again, you're coming off of King, which I think he had the most slew of, I don't want to say hits, but just really dope records. And I felt like this one came too quick. And it was good. It was dope. And it was a lot better than I remember when I went back and listened to all his records. And I was like, I got to put this on here. Number 21, I'm Talking to You. Another Just Blaze. He went crazy on I'm Talking to You. When T.I. gets in that fast flow and he just gets out of control with it, kind of like he did on Look at the Grill with Twista and 8 Ball and MJG, he is hell to pay. Another record he did that on was on that Big Boy song, In the A, featuring T.I. and Ludacris. Went crazy, but he did that on this song too. I never get your facts right, nigga. Tell me gotta make it act right, nigga. Yeah. Talking to You is crazy. Number 20, I got About the Money, featuring Young Thug. And I think I put that on here because again, that was him adjusting to the times. And you could tell that at that time, Young Thug was hot. He was still, fairly a new artist. And it was very important for him to make a song with T.I. And this song was a banger. This song was everywhere during that time period. And yeah, it was kind of a bridging of the gap, if you will, or a generational reach. And I loved it. And I think it came out really well. Number 19, Still Ain't Forgave Myself. Ah, that's on I'm Serious. That is actually the first full song I've ever heard from T.I. Short story time. I went to high school with T.I.'s god sister, and this was after we graduated. I went over, I saw her mother or whatnot, and she handed me the snippet CDs for, T.I. And I hadn't heard of him at the time. And it was DJ by DJ Mars. Shout out to DJ Mars, the homie. And it was an Arista snippet CD. So for the people who weren't around during that time period, what record labels used to do, they would to launch a new artist, they would put together these promo CDs where they would have snippets of the album and they would have one full song on there. I want to say Still Ain't Forgave Myself actually wasn't full. It might have been the first verse and the only full song on there was the song I'm Serious. But anyway, it was one of the first songs I ever heard from T.I., and I got that from, his godmother's, I guess, stash of snippet CDs when she was trying to get the name around. But yeah, Still Ain't Forgave Myself. Dope record, very introspective, and early on showed that he had versatility and he was doing something different than most of the crop of MCs that were in his market. Number 18, Motivation. Ooh, haters get on your job. Yo, man, the way he rides the beat on this, the beat was crazy. I love the subject matter. I love how he was being motivational and just letting you know, like, don't stop, keep going. Urban Legend, Ti, and trap music Ti are special because it's one of those. Both of those are albums where he was very, very hungry and he was reaching out to the fans. He was out there at Greenbrier. He was doing the hand to hand or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was really rooted in what was going on. I think that's what I'm Serious was missing, and he closed the gap with that with trap music and urban legend. I think that's why those two efforts really hold a special place in the heart of the people that were here while that was happening. It was a very special movement. Shout out to him for that. Bring Him Out, number 17. I had to put this up. This was a big record for him. This was his national break. I'm not a huge fan of Bring Him Out per se, but I gotta respect the record for what it is, right? He Bring Him Out is an anthem. And if he were doing a verses, I think that, this would be high up on the list. And this is for a lot of people, this is their first memory of T.I. And he did his thing on it. You know what I'm saying? The mission was accomplished. He was this was his first shot, real shot. He had a couple of shots, but this was his first real shot as a first single to get that national praise. And looks like mission was accomplished. All right, number 16, Ride With Me. This is the first song I heard on King. They were playing it here in Atlanta radio before What You Know and all that came out. And the way he was riding the beat on that, I was like, yeah, I can't wait for this album. He was flowing. Like when he hits that flow, he has one of the best flows in the game, in my personal opinion. He got a bunch of flows, but when he's on that riding in Atlanta in the city with the double dope, like he has that him, Gip, and Sean Paul from the Young Bloods have an incredible flow the way they ride the beat. All of them, and you know what? I think Pimp C's in that too. I know he's not from the A, but Pimp C's very flow, and Pimp C and Big Gip, all time great flows. When Pimp C said, I think it was on Rap City, he said this when he got the call for Big Pimpin' or whatever, and he was coming up with his verse for Big Pimpin'. He called Big Gip and asked Big Gip could he use his flow. That's so crazy when you got somebody with an all-time flow calling another person with an all-time flow. Can I use your flow? So yeah, Ride With Me's there. 15, Be Easy. Be Easy had the city on lock, man. Um, this was Urban Legend. This was to me a slept on record. He shot a video for it and everything. At that time, I think it was a slept on single for T.I. because the singles on that album was 24's, Let's Get Away, Rubber Band Man. I Feel like I'm missing something. But yes, Be Easy. Oh, You Don't Know Me, of course. Can't miss that one. And and yeah, I think it kind of got swept under the radar, but that was a dope record, dope song, dope music video, and everything. Number 14, My Life with Daz. Another slept on song, Urban Legend. A-Town veteran, started at 11, went and bought an 8 ball, but I've been staying down ever since. That's why it's hard to find a young rap nigga better than the Bankhead resident, West Side represent, Pimp Squad mobster, Grand Hustle president, heart of a lion and the nuts of an elephant. Trap music heaven sent you hating and it's evident you try to stack precedents. I'm trying to set precedents. The comparisons insult my intelligence because real recognize real and real you ain't never been. And having Daz on the beat and really giving that whole Tupac all eyes on me type of feel, they knocked that one out the box. You know, Daz snapped on the beat, snapped on the verse. I had to put this one up there. 13, Front Back, featuring UGK. Once again, him paying respect and paying homage to the Southern legends before him, man. They knocked this remake out the box, man. Incredible. I love that record, man. And that's the perfect first single to King. Once again, paying homage, setting it off right. Pimp C was on there. Two guys with incredible flow. Bun B's awesome all the way, but we just talking about flow. I think that, you know, Pimp C and T.I. up there, all time flows. Uh, Number 12, Why You Wanna. Why You Wanna was big. Why You Wanna was huge. And I had to pay that record the respect that it deserved. And once again, man, it's paying homage to Q-Tip. It was everywhere. And I thought it was a quality record. It was a crossover record, something for the ladies. Once again, T.I. showing that level of versatility. Like, nigga, I can make any type of record at any given point. And when the lights were on for King, he delivered. That was one of the reasons why I hold King so high as well. A lot of the times you got MCs that are hungry. Yeah, they'll be hungry and they get to a certain point, and when the lights turn on, you know, the edge is gone. But when the lights came on for King, he was ready to deliver, and he did. He delivered big. And Why You Want is a big part of that. Number 11, Swagger Like Us. I mean, not one of my personal favorite T.I. records, but I have to respect, again, how much of a juggernaut this song was. It was taking over the sound of that time, and T.I. has the best verse on the song with Ye, Jay-Z, and Wayne. I mean, these guys were running things at that time, straight up. Number 10. All right, we're gonna get to 10. These are my favorites. I'm Just Doing My Job from Trap Music. Kanye West produced record, Soul Sample on a Southern hip hop album at that time. This is 2000. This is 2002. Yeah, yeah. This is 2000. Um, yeah, man. I'm Just Doing My Job. It's very interpersonal. It's a very interpersonal Ti record. You know, we got moms, dads, wives, and kids like you. Our options are few. It's hell in high school, and you gotta, you know, pay for the heat and the light bill too. It's very conversational on it, and I don't know if it's the soul sample. I don't know if him and Kanye actually worked on this together or whatever, but at that time, it felt like Kanye was able to bring out certain things in MCs that other producers weren't, just based on loops. You know what I'm saying? It puts you in the mind of what Kanye was able to do for for Common on B, excuse me. And this was a very needed record for this album, and it was very well balanced. You have a young Ti being very vulnerable in ways that he wasn't on other records. Like, it was no real tough guy talk on that. You know what I'm saying? It was just a great, great record. Shout out to I'm Just Doing My Job. I'm gonna go listen to it after this. What's up? What's happening? Number 9. The diss is Shawty Low. The the track's crazy. Look, man, that's another part of Ti's game that I think gets overlooked. When he's in battle mode, boy, oh boy, he's an underrated battle MC. He really is. And I know people will point to that whole Ludacris situation. Ludacris heard his verse on the Young Buck joint Stomp. But in my personal opinion, And I will go to the mat with this. I still think T.I. had the better verse. I like T.I.'s verse better than Ludacris's verse on Stomp. Yes, I said it. But anyway, what's up? What's happening? He gave Shawty Low rest in peace the business. And when it came down to rapping, nobody here or in the South or even in the game at that time really wanted to go song for song with this guy because in a battle setting, he had that rare ability to be able to spit and talk that shit. And he did that. Number 8, Let's Get Away. I think that's his first real big hit to the ladies. You know, he did it a couple of times on, I'm Serious, Pussy Pumper number 1, Hotel, stuff like that. But something that really connected. I remember seeing Let's Get Away on 106 in Parking Lot, and I was very, very proud of Tip. Like, yo, he's he's doing something different. The fact that he was able to seamlessly do stuff like that and do Rubber Band Man and do what you know I wasn't out at the time. Um you don't know me, that's what I'm talking about. Do all of those things seamlessly, man. Like it's important, man. Let's Get Away is very, very important to his career. It sets up Rubber Band Man, which was important as well. I love his career because his career worked in steps. It wasn't about one record breaking T.I. It was about a multitude of records that did it. Um, whew, 7, Dope Boys in the Trap. All right. Now I had to put Dope Boys in the Trap extremely high because this is my theory about Dope Boys in the Trap. I'm Serious didn't sound anything like the T.I. that we know and love that was presented to us from trap music on. I feel like trap music was a reaction to the fact that Dope Boys in the Trap was that song on I'm Serious that actually had legs and kept going and kept getting played in the club. The records they were pushing for I'm Serious, from I'm Serious to Pussy Pumper number 1, they really weren't performing at the level that I guess Arista wanted. But the record that carried T.I. over into independence and into the mixtapes and his next deal with Warner Brothers was Dope Boys in the Trap. And I believe the trap music, even being titled that, is a straight up reaction from the fact that people were fucking with that record, Dope Boys in the Trap. It's like, look, y'all like that? Well, we about to make trap music. And so for that, Dope Boys in the Trap is extremely high to me. Because I think it's one of the most, if not the most important record of his career. Number 6, 24s. 24s was an anthem. Once again, extremely important to be the first single on trap music. And it set it off. Like when you have a single that's gonna set off an album like that, the first single is very, very important. And 24s was everything from a local standpoint. It wasn't trying to reach the nation, but he had other songs that could do that. And 24s took on the region. You know what I'm saying? And that was very important for the movement and the strength of the movement at the time. Number 5, ASAP. ASAP's just a great record. I think it's one of the best songs he ever recorded. The beat was crazy. The way he was riding the beat was crazy. And it's once again motivational. Number 4, I got Top Back. Over time, I think Top Back has become one of his most iconic songs. Shout out to Manny Fresh on the beat. This is their best collaboration to me. Um, this was a a juggernaut. Bumping Goody Mob Soul Food number 4. All right. Number 3, Rubber Band Man. Now, like I said, everything's a build up. To me, I think Rubber Band Man is the record that start getting him national praise in that 106 and Park era. Now, obviously, the Never Scared verse is incredibly important, but Rubber Band Man is the one that was able to follow that buzz and carry on that buzz. And then we go from there to bring them out. So Rubber Band Man is extremely important. And I think it's one of the best records, singles that he ever put out. You Don't Know Me. Man, please, man. When he dropped that, city was on fire. I got You Don't Know Me number 2. I think it's the second best record he put out. Um, it's full of attitude. It's full of everything that T.I.'s about as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Like, it's time to make a song for niggas who don't know me. I graduated out the streets. I'm a real OG. I've been trapping, toting pistols since you stood 4 feet. Niggas acting bad, you gonna have to show me. Man, please. Like the energy on that. Listen, him and Toomp is his best collaborator, in my personal opinion. I would love to get a T.I. and Toomp album. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, even if we got just 10 songs. But him and Toomp make magic together. I think he's a great collaborator with Toomp, Jazzy Faye, Manny Fresh. I mean, him and David Banner haven't made enough together for me to say a whole lot of that, but I know the Neptunes and Pharrell wish that their collaborative powers had met where they needed to. They made some dope stuff together, but I think that I don't feel like they reached their potential based on their individual skill sets, if that makes any sense. But saying all that to say, Toomp also has the number one spot with What You Know. I'm sorry. Yeah, What You Know. What You Know is everything. I remember when I first heard the song. This is one of the rare This is probably the only Ti single that I saw the music video for before I actually heard the song. Ti pulled up on 106 in Park. He had a new song out, and he was ready to premiere it, and it was What You Know. And I remember seeing the video, and I was like, "Oh, yo, this was crazy, crazy." It's the best song he ever made. I think it's one of the best songs to ever come out of this city. And yeah, What You Know is my number one. So let me know what you guys think on the top 25. Let me know the songs you think that I left out and that I'm tripping about, and the ones that I got too high. I think I know what y'all might say I got too high. I was trying to be very liberal with this list because I didn't want to be super local about it. I'm trying to look from the lens from a national lens, but it's very difficult for me to do that being somebody who's born and raised here in Atlanta, Georgia, and who was here for his whole run, or at least the beginning. I was here for the whole run, but you know what I mean. I was really, really tapped in early on, and so it's very difficult to look at it from a national level. But I would love to hear what you guys got to say about it in the comment section. Hit like, subscribe, and I'm gonna talk to y'all soon. All right.